Hi parents, thank you for joining my channel. This is the first video that I'm bringing to you from a professor viewpoint, but also as a parent viewpoint. I have had two children graduate from college. One graduated from a four-year university, one graduated from a community college technical program. So I kind of feel like I have a lot of knowledge to share, and I want to do that through this channel. So I have a parents page or a parents section that I'm going to try to post to every week with some short videos. So I would really appreciate it if you would like my videos and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to bring you new content every week, and I would really love for you to give me some specific ideas of what you would like to know about. What would you like to know from a professor's point of view for how you need to handle situations with your college student? So please email me. My email is the.collegeinsider@yahoo.com. I would love to do something specific for you. So again, feel free to just email anytime. Well, this is my favorite topic, and I'm probably going to step on some toes today, so get ready. But I'm really going to try to help you navigate this hard time in your life that's the biggest change you've probably had to go through with your child. Helicopter parents. I don't know if you know that or not, but that's what we call parents. Us in higher ed call parents that hover excessively over their college student. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And again, it's a hard thing. I know. I'm a micromanager. I wanted to take over my kids' stuff and do it for them, and it was really hard to restrain myself. And even as a college professor, I knew better, and I still wanted to do it. So you really have to find some control, and we're going to talk about some ways you can do that today. So if you think about it, 20 years ago, parents just dropped their students off at a dorm, left, said see you at Thanksgiving or Christmas, and got a few letters in between. That was really a strange way of doing it in our minds now for those of us that, in this generation that have college kids. And I think, gosh, my parents, I don't even know if they took me to college. I went to a college that was not far away, even though I lived in a dorm, but they might have taken me. I mean, you just don't remember them being there every second of every way. I did everything myself, and that's how I learned. And even with my own children, I knew that was the way to do it, but it was still hard not to do it. Now most parents are engaged in almost every single aspect of their child's college experience. And it really is their experience, and we need to let them have the joy in it. And it is very much a learning opportunity for them. This is how they're learning to become adults. And you really will be glad that you have backed off a little bit when you see the great adult they turn into. They have to learn to take care of some of their own business. Parents sometimes say, well, I'm paying for this education, so I have a right to know everything and be involved. And to a degree, maybe that's true, but they are over 18, and technically, if you're paying for their education, you're doing that because you want to or you can. So, but it still doesn't give you the right to be involved in everything and know everything. We'll talk about FERPA laws a little bit. I'll do a whole video on that one day, but it is, the Family Educational Right Privacy Act. And it will not allow professors to give you your students' grade or any information about that because they are an adult. Okay, so from a professor view, we think that parents are now taking on those responsibilities that the students should be learning during college. It's their experience, and these are things they need to be learning. Do you know how much a student will learn from having to set their own schedule, register for their own courses, talk to financial aid, those things? They learn a lot of life skills doing that. And do they always succeed the first time? No. Sometimes, we then have to step in and help them and guide them. But they really do learn a lot of lessons from that. Parents want to talk to the professors about their grades instead of their students. Instead of saying, you need to talk to your professor and see why you made this bad grade, I'll have parents call me. And I have 22-year-olds because I have seniors. And I'm like, I can't talk to you. I have to talk to your student. So maybe you should talk to your student and find that out. And parents also are finding their students their internships instead of letting the students go out and do those. When my daughter had to have an internship, that was a stressful time because I was afraid she wasn't going to get it in time, and I was trying to give her advice, and I just wanted to call somebody I knew and do it. But she was so proud of herself once she found it, and so even to me that was a light of like, she feels so proud that she was able to do this on her own. They need those moments. We have a new term. What is this? A bulldozer. We have some bulldozer parents. They just plow right over their student and take over and do it for them. Don't be that person. So we're going to talk about ways to land your helicopter or park your bulldozer, okay? So some of these are hard, and I'll be honest with you, some of these I had trouble doing. But if you have shared accounts, such as, even their iCloud accounts and things like that, or Spotify, Netflix, you should really separate those. Now, that's hard because, Netflix is expensive and usually you get 3 or 4 subscribers on there. But a lot of parents don't want or need to know what their students are watching or keep up with everything they're doing or watching. And so give them that little bit of freedom to have their own accounts, to be accountable for their own things. Separate your social media and emails too. Don't check their email. It's really hard. I know you want to make sure they're not missing something, but they have to get in the habit of doing that. I'll be honest, I was a little guilty of this in the beginning just to make sure that they were on track, and I just had to let it go. For one, it was a stress for me, and 2, they weren't learning anything. And so it's hard, but you really do need to let that go. Have separate bank accounts. You don't need to know where all their money's going unless you are paying them, a weekly allowance, if you will. But do let them handle their own bills, their own utilities, those kinds of things, and learn that they have to pay things and pay them on time and how much things cost. Even if you're helping them with the money, they need to know how much electric bills cost. I remember my daughter wanted to move out of an apartment complex that everything was included in the rent, their cable, their internet, and water and trash. The only thing she had to pay was electric with the rent. And all of a sudden, her senior year, she finds a house with a roommate. She's like, it's the same amount of money. It's the same amount of money, and it's a big house. And I'm like, okay. And she had to learn that lesson that that house did not include water and trash. It did not include cable or internet. So there were a lot of things that she had to learn that were more expenses that she had no idea she was going to have to pay for. So those are things they learn that sometimes there's painful growing pains there, learning those lessons. Try to let them arrange their medical and dental care. I did do this with my kids once they got to college and they were away. I was like, you need to find a dentist, find you a medical doctor, and kind of take that on. Even though they were still in my insurance, I let them handle their appointments and making that. That was easier for me than the emails and things like that. Resist the student portal. So the students will have a portal where they register, where their grades are, where everything is there. And a lot of times it's hard as parents not to get sucked into that portal, checking every single thing in it. Don't steal their password. Don't make them give you their password. But now I'm not saying just let them go. I'm saying have some open discussions with them. Hold them accountable. Ask them questions. Maybe sit down and have them open the portal with you. But if you're going in every day and checking their portal and making sure things are done, then they're not learning anything from that experience. They're not having the experience. You've done it for them. And I will tell you, as a professor of seniors, I see a lot of seniors, college students that don't know how to do anything because they've not had to. And so you're not doing them a favor. Just remember that. Okay, so what are you supposed to do then? Well, you are supposed to be involved. Just don't bulldoze over them and take over. Sit down with them, give them guidance. But we've got to let them make those life experiences. We've got to let them make mistakes. Mistakes are how we learn. But you've got to let them fly, is the term I guess it is. It's really hard. But again, sitting down with them, having open discussions, and holding them accountable. Just don't take over what they're doing. Let them manage and register for their own classes. Let them call you. This was really hard for me in the beginning. I wanted to call them every second of the day, and my husband was like, leave them alone. Let them call you, and eventually they will, I promise. And then it's okay to check in. But, especially with my daughter, she was away. She was in a sorority. She was busy, and I just wanted to know what she was doing. I would call her, and she'd be like, so busy, and it was short, and she wouldn't have a lot of time to talk, and then I would hang up with my feelings hurt, and, so let them call you. When they call you, they have time. They're wanting to hear your voice. They're probably wanting something, but let them call you in the beginning and just bite your tongue and just sit back and know that they're going to succeed because you've taught them well. Don't fall into comparing yourself with other parents. That's something that's hard to do with freshmen. Some students take longer than others at, getting in there and settling in. So if you've got a new freshman and you're talking to another parent whose freshman is thriving and has a 4.0 and they're, doing all this stuff, and your freshman is, calling you crying, it's okay. And at midterms they have C's and they're normally an A student. It's okay. Some students take a little bit longer to adjust being away from home, College is new. They have to work independently. It takes a little time. So don't compare them. They will thrive. It just might take a little longer. Don't track their phone. Turn off eye tracker or find my phone. I know I have a daughter. It's really hard to do. I do check in with her now. She's an adult and has a job, and I do check in with her every night just to make sure she's home and safe and, locked in. But don't track them. You don't need to know every single place they're going. It will give you more stress than not. Tell them how proud you are. That's all they need to know, is that you're proud of them, you support them, and they have a place to fall if they need to. But let them stand on their own 2 feet. Okay, I took more time than I wanted. This is just a passionate topic for me because I've had college students. I know what you're going through. I know it's difficult, and I'm going to bring you new content every week. Be sure to email me something you want to know. If it's just something that you're dealing with and you want to know how others have dealt with it, let me know. I probably have dealt with it. Well, thank you guys for this video, for watching my video today. Don't forget to subscribe and like it. That's the only way I can keep bringing you free content every week. And I'll bring you something next week. We'll see what it's going to be, but it'll be a good topic, I promise. Thanks, guys, for joining me. Have a great day.